We both had great jobs. What made you pack all that in and migrate to Canada?
That's a very interesting question. It's not my wish to go to Canada. It's thing actually. I thought that I've been working already for my success in the Philippines. And most of my friends right now, my contemporaries, are very successful in our field right now. And leaving that creates heartache. Sometimes you just have to burn your bridges and create new bridges. And I did it for my children, for my family, and more importantly, for the love of Ting. So, Ting, would you like to say something about it?
Yes, Ayo. It has always been my wish to live in North America, and for the very reason that I wanted a greater opportunity for my children and leave a legacy to them. So that was my why. And to be honest with you, Pidoy really didn't want to leave the Philippines. I practically had to drag him out. We didn't make a mistake there. It was a very good decision. In fact, a great decision for not only for us, but for our children and for our growing family.
Obviously, the fruits are there. And I like what you just said there, but sometimes you just got to burn your bridges. I think some people just hold on too much and they keep hoping and hoping. And sometimes you just need to make that decision to burn your bridges and take that step. So you left everything in the Philippines. You arrived in Canada. I bet you had a big house, loads of money, cars, everything, maids. Is that where you start? What were the early days like?
We have to dispose all our property, everything. To me, it's very difficult because we work so hard to get to where we want to be in the Philippines. And I think I'm very close to getting to where we want to be and our vision. But life sometimes leads us to a different level. 3 things I would like to describe a new life in Canada. Challenging. It's probably, we have a lot of disappointments and even frustration. But at the end of the day, it's rewarding. So let me talk about challenges. We have to adjust. We have to adapt. We have to allow the changes to happen to us. In fact, I told Ting, do not open the boxes because if we don't make it here, we're going back to the Philippines. So he made the deal. He said, why don't we stay for 3 years? And then if it doesn't work out, then we come back. I said, no, 1 year. And we had a compromise for 2 years. And I said, okay, if we have a compromise, I'm going to start burning my bridges so I can focus on building new ones and newly constructed bridges. I always like the analogy of bridges. Our life in Canada, in Vancouver, when we started in 1998, was not full of glorious days. We have some disappointments. We have some frustrations because we cannot get to the career we want to be here. And as pharmaceuticals, I was not fortunate to land into that kind of business. But that's okay. At the end of the day, it's rewarding because it allows me to find Salad Master as an opportunity to express my desires and to practice my vision and to live the dreams and aspirations that I'd like.
When we first landed in Canada, we started on a clean slate. And exactly the opposite of our lives in the Philippines, we started from scratch. Imagine, I pretty much assume that a lot of people could relate to us, especially the new immigrants, starting with a new life, adjusting to the new language, the new culture. Everything was new. Practically, we started on a new slate.
So what were some of the toughness and challenges you had to deal with growing your business?
We have to adjust to the new rules and regulations of the country. And we have no Canadian experience. We are using Canadian money instead of Philippine peso. And that's about 40 plus difference. And the kind of management and leadership quite different than in the Philippines. We have a lot of support in the Philippines. You have a lot of companies that you can hire and can support you. So to grow your business there, the support system is tremendous. Here, you have to do it on your own. And here, you have to show people and you believe in yourself so that others will believe in you.
This is what I say. First, you burned your bridges. You made the decision. You put a time frame to it. And then you had the vision of where you wanted to go. And there were challenges, but you said, you know what? We just got to stay focused on it. And through that focus, you went on to become #1 in the world 7 times, 72 world champions. What made you keep going when most people have one and they'd be happy? You keep going. What keeps you fired up?
Well, performance is a direct result of leadership. And at the beginning, we always say we are the leaders. We are accountable not only to ourselves, the people who will be joining us in our business. So I always say this, the brand of leadership frankly determines the brand of your company and your name. Very important. So it's the brand that we would like to build from the beginning. Success also is so dependent on you, and so is failure too. If you allow failure to eat up on you and your success, then you will continue to fail. Again, remember I said this, failure is a checklist of your success. So don't let it bother. It's part of the game. It's just like basketball or hockey or football. Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn, sometimes you lose. But because you want to be a champion, that's part of the game. You just have to continue. You just have to be resilient and move forward. And last but not the least, I think the most important part that I would like to share, no looking back. Learn from the past all the time and move forward. And I think that's one of the best characteristics that we have because we learn from the past and move forward. forward all the time. No blaming, no pointing fingers with each other and say, we just have to move on. If we fail, so be it. Let's stand up, let's move on, let's get to the next chapter of our life.
What kept your focus? You've made that decision, you're here, fresh start. How did you keep your focus in that situation and stay positive?
We made a decision to stay. The moment we have the compromise for 2 years, then we focus on new things, not dwelling in the past, and create new opportunities using our past experiences so that we can bridge the gap and we're able to fast track and hasten our growth and development. When you try to really understand where you're going and you have defined that, then it is important, it is easy for you to get to where you become. Life is not easy. Ting mentioned that. There are roads of hurdles that you have to go through, but that's just part of life. Failure is a checklist of your success. When you fail, you're succeeding. When you're succeeding, that means you're achieving your vision.